What's shaking is bacon, and apparently Bungie isn't fully satisfied with their patrol mode. Now, in their conversation with creators with PlayStation, they stated that they feel as though they haven't done their job in numerous ways, the full extent of it at least. And one way is with patrol. Now, if you've experienced patrol, you know that everything is predictable. Once you've been there a couple of times over, you know how everything is going to play out. Who spawns where, how they spawn, what they do, things like that. And it kind of gets dry. So for me, one of the only reasons that I actually went on patrol a lot of times was to complete bounties. Those patrol bounties are really easy most times. And you just go through them, you upgrade your stuff, and you stay away. Go into the Crucible or do strikes or whatever. But when they introduced the whole key system, it added a sense of loot. It added a sense of exploration, not so much exploration, but treasure hunting, and a fun aspect for you to go and run with your friends. It was a lot of fun right before House of Wolves to go key farming. And they were very rewarding. I think they were more rewarding than Bungie anticipated because we kind of cheesed the chest, but it was really nice because it was like you were getting more out of it than you were from strikes. And even though that wasn't how they anticipated, I think it really helped Bungie shape how, like, the fun aspect and to show how interesting patrol can be. Now, although we all love loot, I don't think it's the extent of everything. I think that is a good point. That's a nice thing to add, but it's not what we really need. So what we need is a little bit more excitement, something to shake it up, something interesting, and a reason to actually want to go into patrol other than for loot. And I think that's kind of been pushed away now that the chest has kind of been altered, nerfed, or whatever. So it's not that great anymore. So it needs to be something more than just loot, because I could just run strikes and just get a bunch of engrams, right? So the thing about patrol is the enemies are predictable, and that's good for doing bounties and everything. So that's something you wouldn't want to really shake up because people have their system. So for my idea, I had to think of a way that wouldn't be corrupted. And what I came up with was episodic events. Now, one thing that I knew was coming with Destiny, before it came out, of course, when they were talking about the species and the aliens that we're going to be fighting, they said that the Cabal and the Vex were at war. And this blew my mind. This was crazy. This was like, okay, they're not just fighting us, they're fighting each other. How is that going to play into the narrative of the game? How is that going to affect the world? And honestly, it didn't do shit. It didn't do anything besides when you go to patrol, you'll see one side of Vex and one side of Cabal spawn at the same time. They just fight. That's it. And it's like nothing. It's like a little disagreement. Like someone had stolen a cookie from the other side. It needs to be more than that. It needs to be more interesting than that. So things like that could just spiral out of control. They could get really deep. When I say episodic events, I mean those things that just spawn, those little mini bosses on patrol that spawn and things like that, and they come with a lot of guys, kind of like the House of Wolves, how they come in, but less of just me beating it up and then getting a reward, and more of me seeing what the fuck they're doing and trying to interpret it. Because I think that would be really meaningful for the Destiny community, because a lot of us like to decipher these weird things and kind of piece them together. So even if it's not fully mysterious, they could at least kind of explain a bit of it with the Grimoire cards. It'd be really cool. So it would be piece by piece. You would see the development. Say the Cabal invade Vex Fortress. The Cabal are planet destroyers, so I'm surprised that they're just staying on Mars. They're not expanding their little empire. They could move place to place and do things like that. We could see enemies in different areas. It would be just an event. It's not their natural homeland, so it would be just an event. And we are kind of like tourists. We're even tourists on our own planet Earth. We only have the city, so everywhere we're kind of bystanders. So I don't think we should be the main focus. They shouldn't be sending in fleets to take us out, because how would they know we're there? They should be counteracting each other. They should be moving against each other, and that would be really, really cool. So a big quarrel is, oh, we don't have enough space on these planets. There's not enough room for us to roam and explore. And sure, I can agree with that, but I don't think that's what Patrol necessarily needs. I think it just needs a little bit more excitement, a little bit more intrigue, a little bit more of discovery, because that's the whole point of patrolling, right? To scout things and to find things out and to discover. So to express that in a way that's like that would be really cool, man. So if you kind of missed an episode of the event series, you can't really go back to it in game. It's something you have to experience. It's not something you can just rerun over and over and over again. So you'd have to say, hear about it from someone, see a video from someone, things like that. And it'd make it like, oh, I have to be here. I have to see this. I have to be playing Destiny so I can experience this in the Patrol. It'd be really nice. And to even take it a step further, they could do it where it's like a community achievement. Like I know in Battlefield Hardline, they have these things where it's like events for the entire community. Get this many headshots, win this many times, and it progresses. You can see the bar of progression, and you can get a patch from it. You can get a battle pack, things like that. But instead of a physical reward, our reward would be, say, something that triggers in the actual main story. So Bungie could use this to see like the analytics of how us Guardians dealt with certain things. They could be like, they went this path a lot of times. Most people went this path. And then they could implement that into the story and kind of craft something tailored around how we play, how the majority plays and things like that. And I think it would be really nice. So you could see something happening on Patrol, and then eventually it would work its way into the story. And you'd just be like, holy crap, this is big. This is happening. It went from this little seedling to this big ass problem. And now I gotta actually deal with it head on. So there you go, Bungie. Another concept idea from your boy. Tell me what you guys think. Do you have anything that you'd like to add to Patrol yourselves? What would you do with Patrol if you had the power in your hands? Thanks for watching. Hope you'll like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll catch you in the next one.